Good morning, Sharonda. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Bless you. Thank you for your support. You always on here. I really appreciate your support. I really do. Do me a favor, if you would. Invite some of your friends. Invite some of your friends. I don't plan on being long, but I have a message that it's going to be a blessing to those that hear what I have to say today. I really believe that this message here is going to bless many people. It's going to free people up from their mind, free them up from what they're fighting and what they're facing. Invite your followers, invite your friends, invite everyone that you can, because I want to drop a word in your hearing. Amen. Bless you. Bless you so much. Good morning, Keisha. Good morning. Good morning. Do me a favor, Keisha. Invite your friends. Invite your friends right quick, because I got something to really, some insight that I want to express. I want to reveal. I want to explain, teach. And through my life, just know that pretty much everything that I talk about, tell you the truth, I've been through it. I've been through a lot of stuff, I tell you. I've been through a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I've been through because they were self-inflicted, self-invited, because I was hard-headed, thought I knew everything, thought I was smart. You know how teenagers are. And I bumped my head a lot. People always say, oh, man, you got a little wisdom on you. How you know what you know? I said, well, after doing the wrong thing for so long, and so I decided, okay, let me do it this way. Then if that didn't work, then maybe I do it this way. So, I mean, it's trial and error. We all bump our heads sometimes, but it's in bumping our heads that we learn. We learn the thing about it, though. But it's always important, and it's always imperative, or it's wise advice to listen to wise counsel. When people who know, who's been there, who's been through it, listen to them. Listen to them. Don't let your pride shut down from listening to them, because oftentimes they will spare you from so much. They will spare you from so much pain and so much hurt, so many scars and stuff like that. And all it takes is just listening. Just listen to that person. Listen to someone who's been through it. And, me personally, when I listen to, I don't necessarily listen to everybody. I don't necessarily listen to everybody. I'm careful as far as who teach me or who talk to me. But oftentimes, over my life, I've always followed my spiritual father for since I was 17. So I'm about 32 years. I've always listened to my spiritual father, Apostle Melvin M. Mosley. And, I've watched his life over the years, and his life has always been consistent. His advice has always been consistent. The things that he's done, how he dealt with people, how he talk, how he teach, how he explain, he's always been the same. He's never been in no kind of mess, no kind of scandals. He's always kept himself away from all of that kind of stuff. He's never been really common with everybody. He's always, he talked to people, but he's always been to himself in a way. Because, when God has given you a voice and God has made you a standard, you just can't be out there. You just can't hang out with everybody. You have to be to yourself at times where God can talk to you. You have to be different. That's the only way you can have a message to give, because if you're common, he used to always teach me this. He always tell me that, you have to be careful as a prophet who you hang around, because sometimes people can become too common with you, and they think you just earnest. And then when God is speaking through you to them, and it's something that they can say that could save their life, but because they think it's just you earnest, then they don't listen. And then, they either lose their soul or they die, or something bad happened to them when they didn't listen. And so, that's what he's taught me, is that, you just can't hang out with everybody. And you can't really express your heart to everybody, because everybody don't know, or they can't receive, what you've been through. They can't take it. Certain things that God has revealed to you, certain things that God has taught you, or God is teaching you, you can't tell everybody, because some people will think that something's wrong with you. Some people will think that you're stuck up. Some people will think that You think that you're better than them, and it don't have nothing to do with you. But but a lot of times it's their own personal warfare. It's their own personal mindset. Oftentimes, everybody, we have 4 seasons, and the thing that I notice about people have seasons too. They have moods. They have certain mindsets. They have certain things that they're dealing with. They're in a desperation place in the mind. They're in an angry place of mind. They're in a happy place of mind. They're in a inconspicuous state of mind. They're in a deceptive state of mind. It just depends. Everybody's in their own season. And oftentimes I study people, and oftentimes I understand and I know how to talk to people based on their season. And how do I know their season? Oftentimes their season is expressed through their body language. It is 80% of communication is based on your body language. People can tell you a whole lot just by their position, just by, how they talk, just by how they look, even sometimes based on how they drive. You got people who drive fast, crazy all the time, and take fast turns and stop and go and all that. You know that inside there's something going on that's crazy. Inside there's a storm that's going on the inside. And so you can tell a lot by people based on the actions, because the Bible says, out of the heart, the mouth speak, out of the heart, the abundance of the heart. But in that mouth, that conversation is also your actions. What's in you is going to come out. And so that's how you're also able to determine what's up with a person. You find people who are quiet all the time. They're self-absorbed, not self-absorbed, but quiet and to themselves. Oftentimes they're to themselves because they're thinkers. They're thinking a lot. They're assessing a lot. They don't talk much. They're probably, a person who's probably careful, probably a person who thinks, who's thoughtful, who's strategic, who's plans, who tries to think before they talk. But then you got some people that are quiet. They're plotting. They're trying to find an angle. They're trying to find a way to take advantage of a person. They're trying to find a way to get ahead. They're trying to find a way to get above or to get you to do something for them. But, people are people. People go through what they go through. But today I'm going to go ahead and get started. And my message today is deliverance. I'm going to talk about deliverance. Deliverance is when a person has been totally free from bondage. Is to be delivered, is to bring out of something that you're bound in, or to bring you into something that you don't know. Deliverance. In other words, it's when you become free from something. It's when the blockage has been removed, like when someone is in prison, but when it's time for them to get out, and when the doors open up, then they walk out that door, they're free. That is deliverance. Also, when a person has been, a mind has been confused and they can't see their way, they can't understand. But then all of a sudden their mind becomes clear and then they're able to understand. That is deliverance. That is deliverance. You take an alcoholic, once the alcoholic eventually put down that bottle and make steps to recover and to make steps to move forward and get better. That is the recovery, and that's the beginning of deliverance. But before a person can become delivered, before a person can become set free, there are certain things that they must face, and there are certain things that they must deal with first. Just like with that alcoholic, the first thing that alcoholic must do in order to start down the road of recovery is that the alcoholic must acknowledge that he has a problem. He must acknowledge, or she must acknowledge, that they have a problem. And once they acknowledge that they have a problem, then they can face it, and then they can identify with it, and then they can move forward. There are many people that are listening to me right now. One of the reasons why you are stuck, and one of the reasons why you can't move forward, is because you're not being honest. It's because you're not being real with yourself and admitting to yourself that you have a problem, that you need help. And see, the thing that blocks people from asking for help and reaching out for help, one of the things is because they worry about how they look, or how people will think about them, or how people will view them. And see, that's one of the things of the devil that he does. He will cause our own emotions, and he'll cause our own mind to become our own prison, to block us from really receiving the very thing that we need to become free. It will. And also pride will stop a person from facing certain things where they live in denial. They think that everybody else got a problem. They think that everybody else got a situation, but when it comes to them, they're fine. They're fine. Now, check this out. Check this out. Now, if you're in a situation wherein there has been 50 people that you've met 50 people, and at some point or another, all those 50 people, you fell out with them. You've had a problem with them. Your relationship has broken. And in every situation, you have said in your mouth, it's their fault. It's something that they did. It was the devil. They came at me wrong. They said something wrong. Now, at some point or another, not all of them people are going to be wrong. And the first way and the first sign of being or coming to awareness of being delivered or trying to be set free is when you admit that it's me. Because the common denominator is me. There are a lot of people that I've known and that I've met that they've always had problems in relationships. I've met women, I'm talking about women, but guys do it too. But I've met women where they say that in every one of my relationships, this guy has cheated. In every one of these relationships, this guy did this and this guy, he did this. And I don't know why. Why is it that I'm always ending up with the same old guy? Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? And I thought to myself, is that why is it? If you keep getting the same old guy, then, did it dawn on you that that's something that you're doing to draw those same old guys? Or if your relationship is always ending the same way, then that lets me know that you're doing the same thing in every relationship. And that means to me is that in that first relationship, you wasn't healed from that first relationship. And because you wasn't healed from that first relationship, you bring in every relationship you have, you bring a whole relationship into all those other relationships. And you deal with each relationship based on that first relationship. And that first relationship represented the hurt, where that person treated you a certain way, where that person didn't listen to you a certain way, where that person didn't talk to you or they didn't respect you a certain way. And you tried to do everything you could do to receive or get that person to notice you, to get that person to love you. But for some reason, that person didn't. For some reason, that person ended up cheating on me and ended up breaking out relationship or ended up leaving the relationship. Now, in other words, say for example, if you want a steak, you don't go to a hamburger place. So in other words, if you want a different result, then there's something that you must become. And there's something in you that must become different. It is because, see, the thing about it, even relationships, see, everything in life is a sound. Everything is in life with a sound. When a child is born, there's a sound. When that child is coming out, that childbearing, that pain, that mother makes sounds and labor and childbearing and labor and that pressure. And when that baby comes out, there's a sound. And when that baby is born, when that baby comes out, and the doctor squeegees all the stuff out of the baby in the eyes and nose and stuff like that, then the sign that the baby is healthy is when that baby cries. Because when that baby cries, that baby lets everybody know in the room, in the house, that I'm here. I'm here to stay, and I'm alive, and I'm healthy. And so the thing about it, we all have a sound. There's a sound that we have, a person have when they're hurt. There's a sound. Because if you notice that people who are hurt, they oftentimes attract or people associate with people that are hurt. They do. People who are bitter, but also people who are happy. They attract those people who are happy. I hope this makes sense. You take even people who have money. Oftentimes they only associate with people who have money. Because there's a sound. There's an attraction. There's an attraction that's drawing that person to that next person. There's a sound, which means is that we all create sounds. And see, the thing about it, when you become desperate and when you become hurt, you release a certain sound. You do. You release a certain sound. It's a sound. That sound is in your walk. That sound is in your eyes. That sound is in how you talk. It's a certain sound. Because we're shaped from sound. We're shaped. The very thing that we listen to, the very thing that we entertain, it becomes us. It shapes our mind. And then once it shapes our mind, it shapes our heart. And then we become that. We become that very person, that very personality. There are some people who have become shaped by their hurt. They have become shaped by bitterness. They have become shaped by deception. They have become shaped by dishonest deception, and which means that many people, when they meet people, they're not real. They're not real. They put a certain face forward, and that face forward is to make people think that they're a certain way, to look at them a certain way. But inside, they're not that true person. But they put out a certain face. If you notice in a relationship, when you meet a person, a lot of times when people meet people in a relationship, they're not real. They're not honest. They're dishonest. They're dishonest because what they do, they're putting their face forward. Because what they want to do, they want to show them, I want to show you, I want to show him, I want to show her my good side, where they can like me, where they can get to know me, and we can do stuff together, and I can get to know her. So, but really what you're doing, you're being deceptive. You're being honest. You're being dishonest. And oftentimes one of the reasons why many relationships end is because at the beginning of your relationship, because your relationship was founded upon being deceptive, which means that when you get to know that person and when they fall for you or when you fall for them, then based on your foundation, when troubles do come, your relationship was based on deception. So when troubles come and when hard times come, you won't have a foundation. Your foundation will be based on a certain face, a certain facade, a certain image, which means that when truth comes to that certain image, that truth is going to knock down or destroy that false image. And that's why many people end up in divorce court. They do. Because, just let this be a lesson to those people who are thinking about getting a relationship, those people who are wanting love and want to be married one day. How you start a thing will determine whether it lasts or whether it will be destroyed. And so it's all about deliverance. And deliverance is when you become real. Deliverance is when you become open. One of the words is transparent. That's a good word, transparent. Now, with my daughter Emily, when we prepare her milk, it's mixed with certain type of formula, and that formula is kind of thick. So what we must do is that we must shake the formula up a whole lot until when we look at the formula at the bottom of the bottle to make sure it's clear and there's no fragments at the bottom. Because if it's not clear, then the milk won't flow out properly, which will cause Emily to become frustrated because there's not going to become enough milk out, and she won't get enough. She will get more air. She'll become frustrated and she'll become angry. But also one of the dangers in not shaking it up properly and getting all that solution out of it is some of those grains could come through that hole, and she could swallow it. And it could, cause her body, she could choke a little bit or something like that. And so that's why it's so important to shake it up, wherein the milk comes out clearly. See, some of you, that's why God is shaking your life up. God is shaking your life up because there's so much debris. You're not flowing properly. There's not a free flowing. There's not an openness. There's not a completeness because there are certain things in your heart and there are certain things inside of you that's not totally dealt with. And because they're not totally dealt with, God is bringing warfare, and God is calling troubles to come into your life. And the reason God is causing troubles to come into your life is to shake it up. God is shaking up pride out of your life. God is shaking up emotions in your life. And what God is doing, he's bringing balance. He's bringing balance in your life wherein that his word can come out of you slowly, come out of you completely, and his power be revealed, and you become healed. You become a healing, and you become a voice, and you can become a deliverance to other people. And so that's why you're going through what you're going. God is shaking you up. God is shaking you up in your finances. See, because God is trying to teach you how to manage your money. And not only God is trying to teach you how to manage your money, God is trying to teach you how to manage how you think. God is trying to teach you how to manage your life. And that's balance. See, the number 9 is a number of completeness. It's a number of balance. And so what God is doing, the reason God is shaking many of you up, God is sending you balance. God is sending you temperance. God is sending you self-control. And because once, years ago, maybe last week, when troubles came at you, what you would do when troubles came at you, instead of assessing what's coming at you, you would respond out of an emotion, and you'll respond to that thing like it responds to you. In other words, you won't think. You'll become angry. You'll become frustrated. You'll become upset. And instead of speaking from wisdom, you will speak from frustration. And oftentimes you will fail that test. So what's happening right now is that, when you fail that test, this is why you find yourself going and facing the same old thing. The reason you keep facing the same old demon, the reason you're still facing the same old relationship, the reason you keep facing the same old situation is because you keep failing. And the way to move forward is that you must pass the test. And the moment you pass the test, then you'll go to the next dimension. Then you'll go to that next level that God is calling you to. But until you pass that test, you will keep facing that same thing. You're going to keep facing that same situation. You will keep facing that same pet peeve. Now, let me explain something to you. And I'm going to close, but let me explain this to you. And there was a time in my life, younger in my ministry, I was two people. I was a certain type of person in church. I was like the Pharisee. I was the person that was all together. I was the person that tried to sound a certain way. I was the type of person that tried to look a certain way. I was the type of person that tried to portray and carry myself in a religious way, in a holy way, outwardly, I was a holy. And so what happened was I was boring. What happened was God wasn't flowing through me properly. He wasn't, because I was guarded, because of fear. But now, and when I said I was two people, now that was in church, but now outside in the streets, outside at work, I noticed that I was relaxed. I could be E. I could be E. I could be easy E. I could be ever ready. I could be, I could be myself. And the more I was able to become myself, the more I could become more charismatic. I could become more suave. I could become who I was. Then I noticed that people was coming to me. But now I was doing it because I was providing for my family. I was doing it because I was hustling. I needed to live. Because, the Bible said if a man don't work, he can't eat. But if a man don't provide for his own, he's less than an infidel. So when I was on, hustling for my family, hustling for my kids, I was making money, and, I could see people. I could see when it was coming. And when I was sowing them, I would know what anger was, and I knew how to talk to them. And I knew how to bring things out of them. I knew how to bring love out of them. I know how to bring a conversation out of them. And oftentimes, even when people was angry, even before they opened up their mouth, I was able to figure out what they was dealing with. And I was able to talk to them and give them a word. Even before they come out their mouth, what was anger in them, it came out in kindness, because I knew how to deal with them. And what God was doing, even in that time, even on my backside, in my hustling, he was sharpening my gifts. He was sharpening my anointing. He was keening me up. He was teaching me, okay, this is how this works. Okay, now I understand. Okay, I understand. And what God also taught me, he taught me how to understand my gifts. At one time, I didn't understand how it worked, but I was just doing it. I was just doing it. And there was times that, I would see people and I would know exactly how they would respond. And so I would give them a word, say something to them. And once I would say that word to them, I would wait 2-3 seconds. And after 2-3 seconds or a minute, I know they'd respond. I know how they would respond. So I was working on my gifts. I didn't know what I was doing. But once I figured out, okay, I understood. But then when I got in church, I was stiff. My gifts weren't working. But in the world, my gifts was working. But the thing what happened, what I realized was that I was phony. I wasn't real. I was one person in church and I was another person in the world. But the reason why I was phony in church was because I was afraid to bring that person that was providing for my family, to bring that person who was in the streets. I was afraid to bring that person in the church because I felt like that if I bring that person in the church, I felt like people would judge me. I felt like people would look down on me, or they think that I was a hustler, or think that I was trying to take advantage of them, instead of becoming myself, instead of becoming who I was. But the moment I kill that religious person, and I brought that person from the streets, I brought me. The more I became me, the more I realized that God flowed through me greatly, and the more God began to move in me, whether I was in the streets, whether I was in work, or whether I was in church. Another thing, and I'm going to close, another thing. There was a time as a prophet, I was always trying to see things with my mind. I was always trying to, see people, what God is saying to this person, what God is saying to that person. But the moment I realized who I was, the moment I knew who I was, I became a prophet. I walked in the office of a prophet. See, a true prophet, anybody can prophesy, but a prophet walks in the office of a prophet. In other words, a prophet becomes a prophetic. Her life becomes prophetic. their movements become prophetic. When that person becomes to know who they are, then the essence, and then the anointing, and then the power, the essence of who they are, the essence of their gift will speak. They don't have to say a word. And so what happened was, once I got that word out of my mind and I allowed God's word to become saturated in my heart, then I knew who I was. I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to try to figure stuff out, because what happened, it opened up to me. If God wanted to speak to me, to someone, they revealed it to me. They told me themselves. They told me. In other words, God told me, God allowed me to stop. What I did was that I stopped trying to chase everything. I stopped trying to look at this, trying to figure this out, trying to get that. But once I became a sound, once I became who I was and knew who I was in God and knew the authority that I walked in, and once I became a sound, because the Bible says that my sheep know my voice, and a stranger they won't follow. See, there are many things in life that are assigned to you. There are many things that belong to you that God has tailor-made just for you. And what it's doing is waiting on you to get to a certain place where you know who you are and where you understand who you are in God. And then once you understand and know who you are in God, you become that sound. And once you become that sound, then everything that belongs to you will come to you. It will. You don't have to chase for it. It will come to you. It will be summoned to you, because what you're doing, you're calling it by its name. Just like what Jesus did with Lazarus. Jesus called Lazarus by his name. And the moment Jesus called Lazarus by his name, Lazarus came. Lazarus came. See, also, and I'm going to close. Last point, and I'm going to close. Jesus, and see this thing right here. God said that he will supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. And see, we all have needs. We all have needs. We all have things that we need. You know, we have needs. We need God. I need this. God, I need a blessing. God, I need money. God, I need a touch. God, I need healing. All those things. And God said he would supply that need. David said that, David said he's never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed beg for bread. See, and the Bible said that God will supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory. See, the thing about it, what will happen when you become who you are and you know who you are in God, and stop trying to prove stuff to man, stop trying to prove stuff to women, and stop trying to tell people you're a prophet. Stop trying to tell people you're an apostle. Stop trying to tell people you're a prophet or an evangelist or an apostle, and just do the work. See, you don't have to tell people who you are. When you do the work, they're going to know who you are. They're going to tell you who you are. That's just like a person who's wise. A person who's wise, they don't say they're wise. Let that person tell you you're wise. Because when you tell yourself you're wise, you're not wise. You're ignorant. You're ignorant. You're puffed up. And so it's all about your perception. It's all about knowing who you are. That's just like in Buckhead. In Buckhead, there are two types of people. You got the pretenders and the authentic. Those people who are pretenders that try to make women or try to make people think that they got the money, try to make people think that they're good and that you know they're the thing. You know, they're popular. They got money. They got all this. They're the ones that drive the nicest cars with all the rims, the loud music. They come with all the gold in their mouth. They come flashy. They want everybody to see them. They loud. But now you know that those are not the ones that really got it. They are the pretenders. And all they're doing it because they want it. Because they know if they look a certain way, they know if they talk a certain way, they know that there are going to be some women that are going to flock to them and, groupies. They're called groupies. But now, the thing that I noticed, the true people who really have money, the true people who know who they are, and the true people who really got the goods, they don't flash it. They don't flash it. They know who they are. They know who they are. And they try to blend in. They try to just like everybody else. They try to talk like everybody else. And in like manner, one of the abilities that God has given me to reach people of means is that I talk to them just like who they are. Allen Iverson, whoever it is. You know, I've met a lot of celebrities, talked to a lot of celebrities. Dominic Wilkinson, talked to a lot of them. And what I do is I talk to them who they are. They're human. They're persons. I don't ask for their autograph. You know, and I used to be a personal bodyguard. So, you know, I don't ask for the autograph or nothing like that. I just talk to them who they are. Hey, how you doing? What's up? You know, talk like a bruh. Or whoever they are, I talk to them on their level. And which means that they befriend me and they like me because I'm not after what they got. And because I'm not after what they got, then they invite me in. They invite me in. Now the Bible says that your gift will make room for you and it will bring you before great men. See, the thing that you must understand, you can't do this thing alone. You need help. We all need help. That's why Jesus sent the disciples out of two. The Bible said that one can chase 1,000, but two can put 10,000 to flight. And the Bible said your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. See, now you're not going to be great by yourself. You're going to need help from somebody. Just like Joseph. Joseph had the favor of God upon him. Now his gift made room for him, and it brought him before great men. And what did his gift do? His gift brought him to the king's house. And in him getting to the king's house, then the king made him great. How? By making him the number one man in charge. And so all of you that's trying to do it on your own, you ain't going to be able to do it on your own. Your gift will only get you but for so far. You need somebody. You need somebody. But now, if you understand your purpose and you understand who you are and you understand God's word, then you'll use your gift to bless God. You'll use your gift to help God's people. And then you use your gift to help God's people. Your gift will carry you to greatness. Your gift will carry you around great people. And once you get around those great people, then those great people will teach you greatness. I hope this makes sense. But I was talking about deliverance, and deliverance is becoming one. It's becoming real, not phony, real. If you really want God to flow in your life, if you really want God to really bless you, like you know he said he will, learn how to kill that fake person. Learn how to make them two people one. Because the Bible said a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You're double-minded. You're unstable. You're unstable. You can't be trusted. You cannot be trusted. In like manner, a person who's emotional. If you're emotional about everything, God can't trust you, because you're gonna fly off the handle when God needs you most. And that's the thing that I do when I'm testing people. When I'm testing people to see where they are, I will shoot, or I will test them with something small, and I watch how they react. And if they fly off the handle at something small, then when something big comes, I can't trust them. They're going to tell them, I can't trust that person to have my back. Because if they can't handle a small thing, then when something big comes, they will be untrustworthy. I told this person one time, I promise I'm going to close this time. I told this one person, they asked me, do you trust me? Yeah, I trust you, the person, but I don't trust your emotions. Because your emotions are unpredictably predictable. In other words, the thing that y'all don't think you will do, you'll do it. Because you're controlled by your emotions. The same thing with God. God cannot trust you if you're controlled by your emotions. You must be controlled by the word. And that is called substance. That's called stability. And that's called self-control. And that's called becoming one person. And the moment you become one person, the moment you become body, soul, and spirit, you become one person, you become connected in agreement with the word. The moment you become in agreement with God's word, when you become in agreement with what he's telling you to do, once you become in agreement with his commandments of love, treating your brother a certain way, and not being fake and not being phony, and just being real. When you got something against somebody, get it right. And because you know in your heart when you got something against somebody, or you know in your heart when someone has a problem with you, you know it. And the Bible tells us to get it right. And if you're not getting it right, you know what you're doing? You are blocking your anointing. Your anointing cannot flow, and your anointing will not flow if there's a blockage. It won't. And God is not going to bless you completely if there's a blockage. And he will not flow completely through you if there's a blockage. That's why fasting is so important, because meat and food will drown out God's voice. It will. Because Jesus said, if any man wants to come after me, you know what he must first do? Deny his flesh and take up his cross and follow me. The reason why you suffer, the suffering is to kill your flesh. It's to kill pride. It's to kill selfishness. That's what suffering is. Suffering is, when you suffer, it's making you humble. It's killing that man. It's killing that old man. It's killing your own desires that will try to exalt itself above what God is saying. That's why you suffer. It's to make you humble. That's why Paul suffered when he was caught up in the third heaven. When he came down, he was assigned a thorn in the flesh. And he said he sought it 3 times that God would take it away. But then he concluded that he would glory in his infirmities, that the power of Christ might rest upon him. See, his power is in his pain. Your power is in your pain, because the more pain you have, the more you're focused on God. Because if you don't have no pain, if you don't have no troubles, and no challenges, then you won't need God. You won't think about God. You won't. And so God sends stuff to keep you humble, to let you know who's God, to let you know who you need. I hope this word has blessed you, but become one. Stop being fake. Stop being phony. If you want the power of God to flow through you real and completely, give God your heart. Give your God your heart. And that means to stop becoming selfish and be real. Stop being one person in the streets and another person in the public's eye. Become that one person. Become transparent. Become real. And see, that's the thing about it with me and my wife. That's why our relationship is good, because we always been real. I've told her, that's why I married her, because she saw me at my worst. She caught me at my worst. I was going through a bad divorce, and she caught me at my worst. She saw all kind of stuff, but she loved me. She saw something in me. She looked beyond all of my faults, and she saw my need. And that's what God does. God looks beyond all of our faults, and he see that need. He see that hope. He see that desire. He see that potential. He see it, and that's why he won't give up on you. That's why he won't walk away from you, because he see your potential. He see your need. Amazing grace. It's amazing. It is amazing, because he looked beyond all of that. A merited favor. In a gift, when you give somebody something that they don't deserve it. God gave us something that we didn't even deserve. And in like manner, we need to do that too to others and our brothers and our sisters. Some of you've been hurt. People have hurt you. People have hurt you. They've shattered your dreams. But you got to forgive them. You have to give them mercy. You have to give it to them. You have to give them something that they don't even deserve. They might have been a dog. They might have been a dog. She might have been a dog. They might have treated you bad. They might have did so many things behind your back. They did. They even made you treat your mama, your family a certain way. And now you're kicking yourself for it, because they trick you. You believed in them, but they come to find out, they weren't real. Anytime, let me tell you ladies, let me tell you guys, anytime a person come in your life and they try to keep you away from your parents, that's a bad sign. Because your parents is your foundation. Anytime a person is trying to keep you away from spending time with your parents or your family, they have bad intentions. They don't. They do. Because mama know. Believe me, mama know. Mama has another eye. Mama knows. Daddy knows. They know. They see what you don't see. Listen to your parents and block that emotion. Because that emotion, this too will pass. It's just a feeling. Your parents see it beyond that feeling, and they see truth. And another thing, I'll tell you this, and I've done this too. I've done this with my wife. When I'm looking in a relationship to find out who I want to be with, I study the parents, and I definitely study the mama. When it comes to a woman, I study the mama. And chances, and more cases than not, the older that woman becomes, the older that person gets older, the more they can become just like mama. So you have to do research. Don't just go and stuff with don't go and stuff blindly. Know who you're talking to. Know who you're dealing with. Know who you're in a relationship with. Because if not, the enemy going to be planting seeds while men slept. And when that harvest comes, it's going to come up to something that you ain't even see. You ain't even recognize. And you're going to wake up one day and say, man, my God, what in the world? What in the world I married? Then it's too late then. You married now. The bed is undefiled. And God honors marriage. So y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good day. Hope this message has really helped you to give you some insight. Become one with yourself. Because the Bible said where there's two agree. Agreement within body, soul, and spirit. That means that your mind is on God. You're not divided. You're not divided. One way you're feeling this way. The next day you're feeling that way. Just become one. Become one with yourself. Become unified with yourself. That's like with relationship. Don't get into another relationship if you hadn't been healed from that old relationship. Get healed from that first relationship first. Learn who you are first. Because how can you know who a person is? How can you take care of another person? How can you love another person when you don't know how to love yourself? Give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. God bless you. Y'all have a good day. Amen.